do you care much about the about page on someone's portfolio, or do they just skim the case study? Do they go through all the pages?
That's a good question. It's interesting because I can give my answer as a design manager. I think for recruiters, it's a little more challenging for me to speak on their behalf because not all recruiters are the same. There are some very expert design recruiters that I've spoken with, and they are very detail oriented. They will go through every piece of your portfolio from the About Me page to the case studies. They will really analyze even just the design and structure of your portfolio itself. But you'll also have recruiters who, many large companies, especially with all the layoffs we've experienced, they are overwhelmed. They're hiring for all the engineering roles, all the product management roles. They're very much a generalist trying to cover multiple needs across the company, and they might not be as experienced. And so they're typically focusing on the commonalities of designers, developers, and product managers all have resumes. They all have LinkedIn profiles. And so they're typically more focused on those things like years of experience and tools and specific skills. Some of those recruiters will be trained by the design managers of, hey, you should be looking at the portfolio too, and we want the holistic picture. Look at the About Me, look at the case studies, just look at the holistic portfolio. And that's personally what I do. I value both very equally. I want to know about you first. I want to know who you are, what you're passionate about, what your career goals are, what sets you apart. And once I know who you are, then I want to go look at your work and basically see the evidence of the claims you made.
I'm going to leave you with this question as we're talking about UX career growth. How many years did you work as a junior UX designer to become a leader? But I want to rephrase this. How many years would it take a junior UX designer to become a leader? I think that is a good way to end it.
It's funny because I've quickly discovered in my career is not all years are equal. There have been times in my career within 1 year, it felt like I got 3 years worth of experience in terms of my skill set, my problem solving, my leadership, my influence. I've also had different years in my career where it felt like it didn't really grow. I've seen individuals with 4 years of experience far outperform someone who's claiming 10 years of experience. And it can just vary so dramatically. A lot of ambiguity of, well, when does years of experience start? Does it start when you take the day one of your UX bootcamp? Or is it day one of a internship? Is it day one when you do a freelance project? And so that's where it becomes very challenging and difficult to say, it's at this point when you have this many years. The other thing is the term leader can be very vague. I often joke about the title director of design. I've seen that title, director of design, mean anything from you're the only designer at a startup to you're directing 30 designers. And so even just the definition of leader is so ambiguous because someone could be the head of design and they have no designers. They're just the one designer at a small company. Whereas the head of design at Apple, that is the complete opposite, or Google, Airbnb, or Spotify. And so there's also just that massive discrepancy. I think the most common definition you can maybe get to is like a manager with 3 or more direct reports. And that can range anywhere from 5 years to 10 or 15 years. It really just depends on the company, the culture, the dynamics. What I will call out and what I want to end on though is there's a difference between leader and manager. Any designer can be a leader. And that's something that led to my career growth to grow so exponentially. I was being proactive. I was taking on leadership responsibilities. I was doing things that were not expected of a junior designer, but I didn't wait to be asked to do them. I just started speaking up. I started building my influence. I started solving the problems that no one was solving. And that made me a leader very early in my career, even as a junior designer, a mid-level designer, senior designer. And it's because of that leadership and influence I was demonstrating and growing that eventually landed me the opportunity for formal leadership. And so, there's a lot to unpack in terms of definitions. How do we measure years of experience and what does it mean to be a leader? But it can vary dramatically. And so you have to be aware of just all those.
Want to listen to the full conversation? Click the video on screen now. Subscribe to the channel if you want to join us live. Oh, wait. Okay, fine, you don't have to join us for the live stream, but if you like stuff like this, then click that subscribe button. I'll see you on the inside. Bye!